The psychology of money. Earning money. Imagine you have $1 on the first of the month and you double that every day. The second day is $2, the third day is $4, the fourth day is $8, and so on. Every day you reach twice the day before. How much money do you think you will have at the end of the month? Keep this in mind. We will return to this topic later in the video. Please do not make any calculations. The highest form of wealth is waking up every morning and knowing that today I can do whatever I want. Why do people want to be rich? The simple answer is actually to be happy. Happiness is a complex subject because everyone is different. What makes me happy may not make you happy, maybe even bother you. However, although happiness will have a universal common denominator, we can say that it is people's ability to control their lives. Having the ability to control your time is invaluable. The ability to do what you want, when you want, with whoever you want, for as long as you want, is invaluable. This is the highest dividend paid for money. Let's take a closer look at the psychology of money. How you use your money well has little to do with how smart you are, but it has a lot to do with how you act. Even if you're intelligent, a behavior is difficult to learn. A genius who loses control of his emotions can be a complete disaster financially. The opposite is also possible. People with no financial education can be wealthy if they have behavioral skills that are not related to intelligence. Financial success is one of those human personal skills and qualities where how you act is more important than what you know. Engineers can determine the cause of a bridge's collapse because there is consensus that if a certain amount of force is applied to a certain area, that area will collapse. Physics is not open to discussion. It is governed by laws. Finance is different. It is governed by the behavior of people. Moreover, my behavior may seem logical to me, but it may seem crazy to you. When you examine financial crises, you will see that it makes more sense to examine these events not with the lens of finance, but with the lens of psychology and history. It is not necessary to study interest rates to understand why people are getting themselves into debt. It would make more sense to examine the history of ambition, greed, insecurity, and optimism. Walter's observation is good. History never repeats itself, but people always repeat themselves. People of different generations, different income levels, different parents, born in different parts of the world, born in different economies, experiencing different job markets and different levels of luck learn very different lessons. Yes, I know it's a slightly different sentence. We each have our own unique experience of how the world works. What seems crazy to you might make sense to me. The idea of risk and reward for someone who grew up in poverty is something a rich banker's child cannot grasp. Even if they try, someone who grew up in a period of high inflation experienced something that someone who grew up during a stable period of prices did not have to live at all. You know things about money that I don't know, and I know things you don't. Throughout your life, you encounter and experience beliefs, goals, and visions that differ from mine. It's not because one of us is smarter or more knowledgeable than the other. This is because we lead different lives. We all think we know how the world works, but we've all experienced a thin slice of it. Some lessons need experience to understand. Research indicates that individual investors' willingness to take risks depends on their personal stories. So it's not a question of intelligence, education, or development. It's just a matter of where and when you were born. Out of luck. Luck and risk are brothers. Both refer to the fact that every outcome in life is governed by some force other than individual effort. When evaluating the success of both ourselves and others, there is one very important aspect to remember. Nothing is as good or as bad as it seems. The world is too complex for 100% of our actions to determine 100% of our results. If you properly respect chance and risk, you will find that when you judge people's financial success, both your own and others, they are never as good or as bad as they seem. Attributing your success to chance when evaluating yourself can be unacceptably frustrating. Let's say I bought a stock and it stayed where it was after 5 years. It is possible that I made the wrong decision by buying it from the very beginning. It is possible that I made a good decision with an 80% probability of making money and fell into the unlucky 20% of the odds. How do I know which one it is? Am I making a mistake or am I just experiencing the reality of risk? We're all trying to learn what's right and wrong with money. Which investment strategies yield results, which do not? How do we become rich and avoid being poor? As we learn these lessons, we often observe successes and failures, and we tell ourselves to do what he did. Don't do what he did. Avoid making mistakes. If we had a magic wand, we could determine how much of these results were due to actions taken, and how much of these actions were due to luck or risk, but we don't have a magic wand. Benjamin Graham is one of the greatest investors of all time. He is known as the founding father of value investing and Buffett's early mentor. But much of Benjamin Graham's investment success was due to his large holdings of JICO stock. This, as he himself admitted, meant breaking almost every rule of diversification he had articulated in his famous texts. Where does the fine line between brave and reckless fall here? Benjamin Graham said of the JICO stock, "Lucky or extraordinarily clever decision. Can we separate the two? It would be easy. It is very difficult to distinguish between risk and luck. Luck and risk are like twins. Identifying what is luck and what is skill and what is risk is one of the biggest problems we face as we try to learn how to best manage money. So be careful who you want to praise and admire, because it would not be right to assume that 100% of the results depend on the efforts and decisions made alone. Not all success is dependent on hard work. Not all misery is due to laziness. Therefore, we must be careful when judging people. We can talk about the role of luck in even Buffett's lifetime performance, and luck is not something that can be reliably imitated. Bill Gates said, "Success is a bad teacher. It's enough to lure smart people into thinking they won't lose. When things are going extremely well, realize that it's not as good as you think." If you are not invincible and accept that luck brings you success, then you must also believe in risk, which can turn the story around just as quickly. The trick to dealing with failure: arranging your financial life so that a bad investment and an unachieved financial goal won't completely kill you, so you can stay in the game until the odds turn in your favor. But more importantly, as we increasingly understand the role of chance in success, the role of risk is that we must forgive ourselves and leave room for understanding when judging failures. Now let's go back to the question we asked at the beginning. You had $1 a month and you thought it was doubling every day. At the end of the month, that is, on the 31st day, when you go with this logic, the number you will get is $1,073,741,824. Extraordinary indeed. If something grows by compounding, if a little growth fuels future growth, then a small start leads to fundamental results so extraordinary that it seems to defy logic. The same is true with money. Buffett is a phenomenal investor. But if you attribute all of his success to his investing genius, you're missing a key point. The real key to his success is that he has been a phenomenal investor for 3/4 of a century, nearly 75 years. If he had started investing in his 30s and had chosen to retire in his 60s, few would have heard of him. Invest in talent, but the secret is time. Buffett has a net worth of $84.5 billion. $81.5 billion of his assets came after his 65th birthday. That's how compounds work. Our minds are not built to deal with such absurdities. So in a nutshell, Buffett's wealth has come not only from being a good investor, but from being a good investor literally from childhood. There are many books on economic cycles, trading strategies, and industries. But the most important and most powerful book should be called Shut Up! Shut Up and Wait. Good investment is not necessarily a matter of getting the highest return, because the highest payoffs tend to be non-repeatable one-shot hits. Good investing is a matter of keeping it patiently and generating pretty good returns that can be repeated over a very long period of time. Compounds, that's when he lives. Compounds work best when you know you can give a plan years or decades to grow. This applies not only to savings, but also to careers and relationships. Here, durability is key. Good investing does not necessarily depend on making good decisions. It's a matter of constantly screwing things up. Getting money is one thing, but keeping it is another. Making money requires taking risks, being optimistic, and asserting yourself. But holding money requires the opposite of risk-taking. It requires being humble and fearing that what you have achieved can be taken back from you just as quickly. It requires being thrifty and accepting that at least some of what you achieve can be attributed to luck. For this reason, past success cannot be relied upon to be repeated forever. The most important issue is survival. The thing that makes the biggest difference is staying around for a long time without giving up. This should be the cornerstone of our strategy, whether in investment, in your career, or in the business you own. In order to apply the survival mentality in the real world, it is useful to be careful about the following issues. Avoiding an untimely stock sale in desperation takes more than picking dozens of big winners.